All right. Good evening and good night, and welcome to the It's Your Perspective Talk Show. It is what's today? Today is Thursday, July 24th, 2025. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show podcast every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. AST. We're coming to you live from St. Croix, Virgin Islands. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Give us a like, a share, a comment. Follow us. And as you can see here in the studio, we already have our guest sitting right next to me, Johanna Bermudez-Ruiz. Thank you for coming in. How are you this evening?
I'm great. Thank you.
All right, man. So you were on our show. Before I even get to that, I just want to say real quick, I always forget this, but this is such a critical thing for us. This is episode 499.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, this is episode 499. We got a big show already lined up for Monday. Bingy Soup.
All right.
Soup is the guy that does the show with me. He's been on a special assignment, but he's coming back for a show on Monday. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be fun. We got a lot of things to talk about. It's going to be a little political, a little funny, a little this, a little that, and of course, he always has those. He reads from a book. I guess his speeches of Rastafari, I believe is what it is. So he's going to be in there talking and giving us some vibes from there. That's what most people usually tune in to see what he has to say about that stuff. So anyway, but we do have a special guest in the studio tonight. Here she is. Thanks for coming out. She was on our show over there remotely about 3-4 months ago, and it went well. I think her show right now is the highest grossing views so far to date. She went into the 20, 30, 40,000 views, and we truly appreciate that. So this time now, we have her in the studio, and hopefully we get those same numbers again tonight. But she is here to talk about, she have an encore presentation of Sugar Pathways documentary and film screening and dinner. It's coming up on Sunday, August 3rd, which is next weekend, from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the J&W Latin Bodega. So tell us about what's happening here. Well, first of all, tell us how it went the first time. I know from what I gathered on social media, this thing was a total success, but you were there. Tell us what happened.
Well, you know what's impressive, David? It's that you're talking about 30,000 viewers, and then from our own Facebook page, Cane Bay Films, we had another like 15,000. Then we were on the radio. There was 100,000. So we reached out to a lot of people. But our evening was spectacular. In February, it was amazing. We had and amazing is an understated word. It was really a beautiful, magical evening under the stars at my sister's soon-to-be open new space, which is Mini Mimosa, La Bodega. And what we're doing is we're basically turning into an outdoor restaurant. It's gorgeous. It's going to be decorated beautifully. Yoli is a part of this, and so she does a phenomenal job. And to answer your question, we were sold out. We had people coming in wanting to buy tickets right at the table. And we showed my film Sugar Pathways, which is 100 years of Puerto Rican history. And just, I couldn't express how more beautiful and how honored I was with all the guests and all the support we had that evening. So we decided, why don't we try doing this one more time with an encore, even better, special, and just phenomenal. And so we're excited for Sunday, August 3rd at Wanda's Place, Mini Mimosa, right by a little car rental. For all of those who are not from St. Croix, we have maps, and we have very detailed information on our Cane Bay Films Facebook page or canebayfilms.com/events. And so we're excited to see everyone at 5:30.
Okay.
People are buying tickets. We have limited seating. I'm really excited about the guests that are so far attending.
Okay. So don't forget tonight, you can call our guest 340-513-2469. That number will ring here. We'll bring her in. She'll pop her headphones on. You can ask her a question, give her a comment, anything like that. So when you talk about doing an encore, that means simply, I guess in my mind, that you had such a great event the first time that probably more people that were there probably wanted to come and couldn't make it, and I guess that's sort
Yeah.
of what prompted the encore.
Well, it was pretty amazing because that particular day we had, the night before, we had Bujubatan, we had the Ag Fair, there were several events. And so to be sold out where there was so many people doing so many things on St. Croix, we were just really ecstatic because it showed what we're doing is building awareness around our film industry program. And so the people that came that evening not only had an amazing experience with the cuisine, it was one what my sister Wanda did and her staff and her team to put out an array of dishes inspired by Sugar Pathways. And then on top of that, we had, of course, bread and butter wines that supported us and sponsored our beautiful red and white wines and bubbly and Fiji water that also was just the water is always nice and crispy. And so we were honored by CC1 and all the sponsors at that time.
Okay.
And this time around, what was even more special that people, our sponsors today, are jumping in on supporting us because we're doing, it's not just a Sugar Patch or did in a movie, it's a cultural evening. It's a heritage moment where we're talking about our families and migration. And those can be a little bit of serious topics, but at the same time, there's topics of love and unity. And I just thought that it would be great to talk also about the film industry and how important that is for the Virgin Islands and how important is the work that I'm doing with many of my colleagues and friends.
Okay, good. So tell us more specifically about what the documentary is about.
Sugar Pathways is a very thorough film, over 100 years of history in 50 minutes. And so there's a lot of information, but there's not, I don't think, for me, it's an emotional film. I've worked on this film. I edit the film. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and we were talking about there were about 3 editors. One of them was a multi-Emmy award-winning editor. And then I came in and did the final cuts. And then another friend of mine I flew in from DC, who was a top A editor, came in and finalized it and really polished the film. But we look at why Puerto Ricans came to the Virgin Islands. I mean, we all know that our Taino ancestors were here for thousands of years. And so many of us have those DNA. You yourself has that. And also that we are African descendant and that we are also Spanish descendant, or some of us are Danish descendants. And so for us to have such a culture that is so diverse in the Virgin Islands, I think it's special. And that's what Sugar Pathways looks at. It goes into music, it goes into history, it goes into cuisine, it goes into politics and how that shifted and how we all became more of a wholesome, all the way together, as we say in the Virgin Islands. And so it's a beautifully done film that touches on race, culture, economy, and also the beauty of our island.
Okay. Just
and I smile about it because it's a film that I also cry about, because when we start to look at the film, and there's an aspect in the film where where we're talking about the actual expropriations, where people are actually being removed from their homes because there is such a thing as the U.S. Navy coming in to develop a first-class bombing range. And so the migration of Puerto Ricans, and I will get into it a little bit really quickly, happened in many different ways. It wasn't just the 1940s and sugarcane cutters. It was in the 1800s as well, where people were during the Danish, and I'm moving to this really quickly, but the film is extremely thorough on it. But during this whole Danish colonial era, our ancestors were actually going to Vieques and Culebra and Puerto Rico, but mainly Vieques for freedom, for their liberty, because of the enslavements that were occurring here under that sugarcane era as well.
Okay. So it says here, Sugar Pathway tells a riveting story of the unwilling migration by Puerto Rican families from the small Caribbean island of Vieques to the U.S. Virgin Islands. This powerful and vibrant film recounts their will to survive the journey, integrate and contribute to their culture, economy, and politics of the United States Virgin Islands.
You know what, David? I've never talked about that synopsis. I've never broken it down.
Okay.
That synopsis, I wrote it, and then Dr. Gloria I. Joseph, who is Audre Lorde's life partner, re-edited it. And then I remember the day that we were working on this, updating the synopsis. So when you look at, tells the riveting story of the unwilling migration, and I remember exactly who you used, who if this is a friend of mine in DC, who really we're discussing, you discussed the words like unwilling, reluctant. Why was it reluctant? Well, because they didn't know where they were going.
Yes.
That particular sentence is about the 1940s and this whole World War II, Pearl Harbor, and the U.S. taking by eminent domain land, right? So people were leaving and they were told to come to St. Croix. But many people outside of those who had left St. Croix and the Virgin Islands and St. Thomas and St. John, and they got on a raft and somehow made it to Vieques for their freedom during the enslavement period, I have to say that, those families stayed there. The Guichards, their Kitishans in Vieques, they're Trinidadians in Vieques. Actually, that was one of the points that the lieutenant governor in our Encore, when he just saw the film, and he said, "My goodness, I didn't know there were Kitishans in Vieques that migrated." Okay. Yes, because sugarcane was that whole Caribbean Southern economy back in the day. And so that reluctancy wasn't because, we're coming to St. Croix. That reluctancy was very similar to what's happening presently, which is what my Silent Drift, my feature film, which is going to be our course, our program, which is about the ocean and the sea and what happens in the sea. Back then, there weren't any planes. Yeah. There were some planes, but people were traveling through water, on a sail, not no speedboat.
Yeah, no motorboats.
No, there were no motorboats.
Yeah.
So, the stories that I captured were about that reluctancy of getting on a boat, fully on sail, waiting for that wind to kick in to come to St. Croix. And often people were stuck in the middle of the ocean without that wind moving, and they'd have to return back.
Yeah.
That's a real deal fact. And so we think about our I want to say our community, our Caribbean and Latin American community, and how they're traveling for a better life, for the American citizenship, and they're getting on a boat too, and some people call it a yola. And then and profession and in a personal process, it's because it's a personal process. They're on a speedboat, they're on a motorboat, moving through the waters. Versus Vieques and Culebra, people coming to the VI on sailboats in the 40s and 50s. So I wanted to sort of really break that down, because the synopsis, that's what it's talking about. And why is it powerful and vibrant is because when people were coming here, and there's language differences, their islands look quite the same, but there's a lot of differences and also similarities. And I think there's a sense of memory because you're remembering, my ancestors came from Virgin Islands, we went to Vieques Culebra, and now we're coming back.
Okay, I got you.
And I can keep going.
Yeah, I understand. Don't forget, you can call our guest tonight, 340-513-2469. That phone will ring here. She put her headphones on.
And you have to see that I see these things very visually.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it, and I'm actually living through it and seeing this on a visual level.
Yeah. Then also says here, Sugar Pathways is narrated by actress Lauren Velez,
right?
Of the Emmy award-winning Showtime series Dexter.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and so Luna, she goes by Luna today, and Luna Lauren Velez is a very accomplished actress. Back in the day when I was growing up as a kid, when she came out in I Like It Like That movie, I don't know if you saw it. And,
I remember I know the name.
Well, people were so in love with that movie that I remember back in the day was VHS, and that movie was stolen from Blockbusters.
Oh,
you could not rent it. I was a little kid, and I was like, oh. Okay. Now you have cable and you had HBO and all that, you can see it, but it was so beloved, such a beloved film. And that was her breakthrough. I would say that was her breakthrough film.
Okay.
But this film went to Cannes. This was a first-class movie that really depicts us as I would say Puerto Rican Black Afro descendants in the Bronx and those relationships,
I got you.
After, early 90s. But it's so she she's just phenomenal, and I'm really honored to have her voice on that. Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, is she gonna be here or no?
No, she
Oh.
wants to come to St. Croix, and we've talked about it often. And
Okay.
eventually,
She'll get here?
be I mean, she's been really working on a lot of film projects.
Yeah.
And she did the voice for the Spider-Man universe. I mean, and so she's always moving and
Okay.
doing stuff.
Okay. So our guest tonight is here. She has a great event coming up. This is the Encore presentation. She is the CEO and president and owner operator and the woman in charge of K-May Films, correct?
I'm the founder of King Bay Film. Me, you know about president, okay? You know me saying those are very tricky words right now.
Well, that just means that you are
But-
the lady in charge.
Well, I'm sensitive about being the lady in charge. Yes, I am the leader of this group, of this small business. It's a very small, ambitious business. And why I call it ambitious is because we don't really have a thriving film industry, production industry here in the Virgin Islands. And of course, all the collaborators that are involved, they all know who they are, whether they're government agencies or individuals. We're all working together to
Mhm.
revive that.
Mhm.
And I think that on a very serious level, it takes a lot of work because it's a risk factor, right? We know what the refinery can produce. We've seen those monies, and we've seen back in the 80s and 90s what films like Benjamin Button and The Island of Dr. Monroe, these type of films that were filmed here. Bernie's Weekend at Bernie's. I was watching Apple's TV. I was watching an Apple series where where my colleague and I were laughing at it because it was very similar, stereotypical Hollywood satire. It's called The Studio, and in this TV series, The Studio, they have a moment where the CEO, the president, the leader, he's a mess.
Okay.
He's a mess, and they say, why don't we do a Weekend at Bernie's and we lift him up and we try to get him into blah 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 blah.
I
And
got you.
of course, Weekend at Bernie's was filmed here on
Yes.
St. Croix, one or two scenes.
Yeah.
And for me as a filmmaker, as a movie lover, is what I love was growing up here and seeing movies being produced. And I think that's what gives me the zeal to be able to say, we can still do this.
Mhm.
And so, yes, I will take it on that I am the captain of the ship, but there are other queens and kings that are working behind the scenes to move this, particularly this film, Cane Bay Films Workforce Training Program, through Silent Drift to get this done.
Okay.
And filmmaking is expensive. These type of programs are very expensive. And that's why we're having an encore, because we want to talk about, we love movies. I
Mhm.
mean, what was the latest thing you've seen lately?
Movie?
Yeah. Movie or TV series. Right now, I watch a lot of stuff at home streaming.
I watch a lot of stuff on Tubi.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, just whatever. I think the last comedy series with Malcolm and Eddie.
Okay.
Yeah. Malcolm, the one
Yeah.
just passed. So Malcolm and Eddie.
Yes.
I watch a lot of things. Like my range of movies is karate to action to drama.
Yeah.
Just depends.
Yeah.
But just a lot of things. So let's real quick talk about the film industry. So your one of your missions is to revive the whole film industry here. I mean, but be a little more specific. How are you going to do that? I mean, what's your plan of attack to get that? I guess, and ultimately you want to have people come here from the States or wherever to film their movie here and use some of the
the
scenery.
economic development, the EDA has their incentives. Right?
Okay.
And so that's their, I think if I can say this safely, and they are one of our sponsors. And,
Okay.
and I have a good relationship with the agency. But I think for their model, and with respect, is about bringing in people to film here.
Okay.
What my model with my team is building it locally.
Okay.
Because what we're seeing is that Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic is just knocking it out the ballpark with the film industry, but they build it from the ground up.
Yeah.
And so we know that's what it takes, because it's about our community. It's
Mhm.
about the infrastructure and developing that. So you can, but it's harder to have someone come in where there's no infrastructure. So what we're doing is filling in that gap.
Okay.
And the
I got
gap is workforce.
you. Okay.
We need to train people.
Yes.
Like you could come and we'll train you in the department that you are interested in doing
Mhm.
with people who have the actual experience and have lived it, have studied it academically,
Okay.
are teaching it academically, but also they're also working on films within Apple and Netflix
Okay.
and other and other conglomerates of they're called streamers.
Okay.
And so, but that said, what we're taking is my film Silent Drift, which is a story about a mother and daughter relationship and their situation about migration. And they're dealing with real issues about human trafficking. And they're dealing about real issues about love and how love helps people sometimes get out of situations
Okay.
that perhaps they should not be in, or perhaps because they want a better life and the risks that they've taken economically, they have gone that way.
Okay.
And so it's a film that is a thriller film, it's a suspense film,
Okay.
and it's also drama, which
Okay.
you probably would love. And we would be filming that throughout the island, and then we would be training about 100 people
Yes.
with key head people that have been, doing this all
In
the
the
time.
industry, yeah.
And so what I see it as, it's a vocational training.
Mhm.
And I see it also as something where people can, if you're doing electrical and you're working with the grip department and you're learning electrical there, that you can take those same skills and start your own business as electrical small business, or you can continue and work in the film industry, whether hopefully what the plan is that people will come here
Yes.
as a result of the workforce training program and make films because we have trained people, and also inspire those. We have young filmmakers that are out there right now, and they're mainly learning through YouTube. But what I'm saying is that working with our program, these skills they'd be getting maximum professional skills.
Okay.
Another example of that I want to say is like when we did our program in 2023, we had 37 students, 7,700 people interested worldwide to come to St. Croix to be a part of our program.
Okay.
And so what I learned from that 37 was that there were a few of them who had actually gone to film school, and they spent about $100K learning film making.
Okay.
But when they came to our program, their skills were not to par to work in a film production.
Okay.
And so that's the difference, because you're getting real life skills on a film like Silent Drift.
Okay.
And I have to say, it's a 17-week program, apprenticeship that is paid. And so we want to be able to give back and also produce a quality film.
Okay. Okay. So this is the second time you're going to be doing this?
Yes.
Okay. So what is it actually called? The program itself?
It's called Cane Bay Films Workforce Training and Economic Development Film Industry Program.
Okay, that's a mouthful there.
We call it CBF.
Okay.
Ted Fit.
And this is basically to train and to teach and to train young adults that want to get into the film industry and all aspects of film industry, behind the camera, maybe some in front of the camera.
Right. It matters to us too that they're acting. So this is for our program. We had about 14 departments.
Okay.
So those are going to expand even more because we're doing the whole feature film as an actual curriculum.
Okay. And when is this going to be starting?
Well, we're raising the money, and that's why we're doing the Encore.
Okay.
The Encore dinner is extremely important for us. It's extremely important for me and my sister to work together and provide a first-class cuisine experience and at the same time the first-class film experience.
Yes.
And so that is how we're building awareness, because our ultimate goal is to have everything started by summer.
Okay. Okay.
Of next year.
Next year, okay, because the summer.
We're feeling the heat now.
Yeah.
So we're going to work through the heat and then come back to the heat and do some real work.
Okay. And so this Encore presentation is Sunday, August 3rd, 2025, from 5:30 to 8:30 at the J&W Latin Bodega, which is at 102 Richmond Christiansted.
That's right.
Right next to the Olympic car rental. So if you're heading into town, it's on your left-hand side right there.
And I have to say that my sister Wanda has been working on building her, restoring what people locally know as the Donna Christensen's building.
Yes.
You see, part of like the photo of this is my great uncle, Candido Guadalupe, and this is my great great aunt. in the flyer that people are seeing and circulating. It's a really special flyer to me poster because it's my family and it's part of our legacy, and it shows our Afro indigenous connection. But my uncle my great uncle Candido Guadalupe, his house and his business was just a block over from where my sister's new business that she's working on. And people might think that it's a grand opening, and it's not. What it is that we're converting what we call the bate, the back of her what's going to be soon her restaurant, and putting it as an outdoor restaurant under the stars, showing an amazing, beautiful film, sophisticated film, and that is about our history and culture. Y nosotros los Boricua, y nosotros los Virgin Islanders, juntos.
Okay, man, I like that way you roll them R's. Says, join us and experience an authentic Puerto Rican dinner prepared by local chef Wanda Belado.
Yes. And she's award-winning. She's gotten awards for her food.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt you there, but I'm serious about my sister's food. It's excellent. It's excellent. I can go anywhere in the world, but that menu right there that she's preparing, based and inspired by the movie, and just cultivation of our two cultures of being Crucian and being Boricua. I'm telling you, it's worth the bread and butter wines, and the combination of her food is really, really delicious. It's quite good.
Okay, and speaking of food, we have I guess the menu here. Is this what's going to be served that night?
Yes, that's pretty much what we're serving. Anything can change because of the environment and the climate, and we live on St. Croix, and things have to be imported. But this is the menu, and this is what's been inspired by the film. Yeah.
So for the appetizers, hors d'oeuvres, saltfish gundi.
Yeah, man.
And I'll let you pronounce that right there.
It's a patacón de plátano.
Okay.
Yeah. So. And then we have the pâtés, which is also vegan for those that should be preparing. We have the flan and the quesitos as our dessert. And then I'm looking over here, and it's like she's got the pernil, the roast pork, the snapper filet, the con, and I'm sure there'll be stewed beef in a vegan dish. But also the arroz con gandules, which is traditional. We had a friend of ours that was visiting from New York, and they were saying, we only have arroz con gandules during the holidays, and I'm like, we eat it here. At least I eat it here almost every day,
all the time.
And we have the guineito and escabeches, which is that green fig, and escabeche, which is like really delicious, garlicky olive oil. It's it makes my mouth, just talking about it, makes my mouth water. And then the Crucian stuffing. These recipes that my sisters created for this menu is very special. We have a green salad, of course, for those who want to have that nice, and her mac and cheese is excellent. What I love about my sister's cuisine is that she cooks from the heart. This is a woman that's been doing it for a long time. And sometimes when I'm in her business and I'm helping her out, to see her do the Johnny cake, which is not on the menu. Last time she did it with wheat instead of flour. The Johnny cake is that fried, fried bread. And the Native Americans have a fried bread that's quite similar. And when to see her be like, tell her staff, like, get it ready, get the oil ready, get everything ready, and she's going like this, and then finding herself, that is love and that is passion.
Yes.
That is what her customers also get from her food, that she is not just running the show. She's involved in the cuisine because it's our mother, and it's my mom, and it's my grandmother's recipes.
Okay.
And then that she's created it. So I'm always honored, and I think this is our way of also showing that we as local people can have beautiful cuisines for an evening dinner.
Okay.
Outside of our lunchtime, this is extremely special. She's going to be cooking up, and she's already setting her mind to how she's going to prepare this menu. Outside of what she does for lunch, this is different. This is very special evening.
Okay, so I just want to say in reference to the menu here, cooking with love is very important.
That's absolutely.
Yeah, you got to cook with love, man. So what else we got going on here? So the big event is Sunday, August 3rd 2025, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. This is an encore presentation of the Sugar Pathways documentary, film screening, and dinner. And we just took a look at the menu. We got many sponsors, just many sponsors here.
Yeah, I'm grateful to the sponsors because it's a lot to put an event like this together. We've been preparing for the past few months here, and just thinking about it, putting it together, and to have all the sponsors that are mentioned within our Facebook page and mentioned in our website. And I encourage everyone, we still have tickets. Please go out and buy. It's supporting a good cause. It's supporting our workforce training program. It's helping us build awareness. We're going to have a beautiful dinner. It's going to be elegant. And the attire is
island chic.
Island chic. And I smile and I get a little bit red up because we got Bad Bunny doing amazing. He's doing a concert that is just also first class, and it's all about cultural preservation. And that's what Sugar Pathways is.
Okay.
And that's what our next coming up film is, because it's all about the beauty of our island and telling our stories, not somebody coming in and making a story about us.
Yeah.
We're telling our
own stories.
And that's what authenticity is. That's
Yeah.
what the art of filmmaking is. Also, is it movie making? Is being able today in this world, being able to tell our stories in a form that I call it exquisito. And with Bad Bunny, he's doing something exquisito, something really exquisite. The meal is going to be exquisite on Sunday, August 3rd. The dinner is going to be exquisite on August 3rd. The film is going to be exquisite on August 3rd, Sunday, August 3rd. And then when you look at someone right across 60 miles away, like Bad Bunny, who's bringing all these people to see a very similar concept or similar history of Sugar Pathways, because Sugar Pathways...
Are you doing it that same night?
No, he's going to be doing his concert all the time. He's 30 days. But what I'm getting at is the clothing. See, he's depicting through his concert the sugarcane era of the Caribbean and the Puerto Rican sugarcane era of the Jibaros. And so people are dressing up like back in the days, like the 40s and 50s.
Yes.
And so that's what I find so amazing and relevant, is that Sugar Pathways gives you the real sense of what's happening back then and at that time in real time. And so I just think it's really, for me right now, for Sunday, August 3rd, it's gonna be phenomenal and fantastic and exciting for me to see my own movie all over again in the context of what's happening in popular culture with Bad Bunny, and just that we're uplifting the preservation of our community.
Yeah, I got you.
I think that's really amazing.
Bad Bunny, we got to get you on the show, man, to do an interview. Stop through one day. Give me a call. So you can purchase tickets, right? At
the easiest way to purchase tickets is at Cane Bay Films.
Okay.
So it's www.canebayfilms.com/events.
Okay.
Because I can see it's a long link to share.
Yeah.
But Promo Tickets is our sponsor.
Okay.
And so promotickets.com, I'm sure they can go through there. They'll find it.
They can find the event, yeah.
But for sure, www.canebayfilms.com/events. Yeah.
You can purchase tickets there. I can tell you still get excited. So let me ask you this: so you guys did the first event, the first showing, and then when did you guys decide that you're going to do it again? Like a week later, too?
No, I think back in May we were like, we had a great, all of us had a great time. We have guests that are buying tickets that attended February. So I think that it's an exciting energy and frequency that's in my sister's location.
Okay.
But also, excuse me, the film is a really, you go through emotions of laughter, you go through emotions of I didn't know that, and you go through emotions where it gets a little bit teary-eyed.
Yeah. And
then you go through emotions where it's exciting. And because we got the carnival scene, and we talk about all the things that were happening back in the day. So, one of the things, if anyone also is curious, they can also call Yoli Prosser if they have any questions. And I'm going to give that phone number so that in case anyone wants to call and have questions about ticket sales or the event, it's 561-818-3308. That's 561-818-3308.
Perfect.
Gracioli Prosser. And she's the one that's leading the charge. Yeah.
Okay, perfect, man. Perfect, good to go. What else we got? Tickets, we discussed that. The event is coming up on August 3rd at J&W Latin Bodega right here in Richmond. So are you have people coming in from Puerto Rico, from the States, from Vegas?
I'm seeing people sometimes that are purchasing tickets that I don't know who they are.
Okay,
And then I have people that decided to come from Florida
okay,
and be a part of it. So
Okay.
we're having people, some people are flying in, some people are new guests, some people have just moved to St. Croix. So
Hmm,
it's a mix of us
yeah,
and people
everybody else, yeah.
people I've never met, and
Okay.
I'm looking forward to just seeing all the diverse faces and experiencing Sugar Pathways, a dinner and a movie, Sunday, August 3rd, 5:30, canebayfilms.com/events. And you can follow us on Cane Bay Films Facebook page. We're constantly posting about everything that's happening up to the event.
Okay, man, perfect. Anything else you want to add?
I just want to say thank you again to all the sponsors. Thank you to CC1. Thank you to Bread and Butter. Thank you to I can see them all here. Aqua Mist has always been great. Vivo, Department of Tourism, EDA, Blue Sky Real Estate, RT Park. I mean, these people have all made it really possible for me to work with my team on this and make it happen. The VI Commission, who's always been supportive, the VI Casino Commission. So we're just looking forward to having a great time and seeing everybody there to support our film and
Okay,
our
man.
projects that we're doing.
All right, mark your calendars, August 3rd, 5:30 to 8:30. It's a Sunday at the J&W Latin Bodega right here in Christiansted. This is the encore presentation of Sugar Pathways documentary film screening and dinner. The menu is fantastic. You got all kind of stuff here. Flan and red wine, white wine,
Some
Prussian stuffing, the mac and cheese, roast pork,
We also
snapper.
have, by the way, David, for those who don't drink alcohol, we also have a local fruit punch that Wanda will be preparing.
Okay,
And so that's really important outside of the Fiji water, that
yes.
people will feel that those who don't drink alcohol, that they have an alternative as well.
Okay, some pâtés. The hors d'oeuvres is saltfish gundi, roast pork,
Snapper filet.
beef stew.
Yeah.
They're gonna have some form of a vegan dish. Side dishes. I'll let you pronounce those. You hear that rolling.
Oh, bueno, guineitos en escabeche, arroz con gandules, Prussian stuffing.
All right, man. I could have never did it that fine.
Quiero dar las gracias a todos esos boricuas que están escuchando, los boricuas y la gente dominicana, latinos que están escuchando también. Un abrazo, espero que puedan venir. Nosotros todos somos latinos unificados y le doy las gracias a todos y los vemos allá el domingo.
Okay. Anything else you want to add in Spanish? That's good. Okay. That was good. I love that.
Thank you.
All right, so that's it for us tonight. Come out and check her event out. It's Encore. It's amazing. I didn't go to the first one, but I see what people are saying, and the vibe is good. I think I told you the first time that my granddad is from Vieques.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah,
I
my granddad and my grandmother. My mother's side. This is my mother's parents. My granddad is from Vieques, and my grandmother is from St. Thomas.
Wow.
So there's some Puerto
Caribbean.
Rican-ish flowing through my system.
Okay.
Proud of it. Never been, but I got to get over there. I got to get over there and check that little island out, man. So on that note, we're done. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I just want to say that this is episode 499. Let's not forget that this is episode 499. I want to thank our special guest tonight. The first time she was remote,
Gracias.
she was over there.
I was at Wanda's place. We were setting up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this time she decided to come into the studio so we have more personal interaction, which is perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
But show 500 is in the books coming this Monday. We got a special guest. Bingy Soup is making his return. So him and I got a lot to talk about. He hasn't been on a lot of the podcasts lately, but if you go on our YouTube channel and kind of go back, maybe prior to the hurricane, or prior to COVID. You'll see him and I there talking to a lot of guests. And as you can see, we're on 500, so we've talked to a lot of people, a lot of guests. This is not a political show. What we do is we invite guests on that are having events or something in that vein, and want to talk about it and share it on Facebook and YouTube so that people can come and check out their event, like Johanna's doing here coming up. Have her come on the show and talk about what's happening, and it's all good. So on that note, we're out. Everybody have a good evening. Stay safe. Be safe. One perfect love. Our prayers and his blessings. When you put it all together, you get one perfect love, man. So on that note, we're out. Everybody enjoy their evening.